Coach Leach's tenure here, he's stressed, stability a lot and was able to maintain a lot of the staff. The guys you have today have been here since, 2020, most of them at least. How important is that going to be for you, moving forward to maintain the guys you have on staff now going into next season?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, since taking over, becoming head coach, really we've had only 3 priorities. I mean, number 1 has been obviously take care of our current players, make sure they're okay. Number 2 has been retain the commitments in the signing class, right? Try to pick up any key late additions to finish the class off right. And then number 3 is obviously to prepare for this bowl game and get a team ready to go out there and finish the season off the right way, honor Coach Leach, and play well. And so, really, those are the only 3 things we've been focused on right now. Anything beyond that is, to me, to be determined at a later date.
Coach, you got it in this class when you look at guys like Kelly Jones, Ty Jones, Creed Whitmore, Justin Brown, guys that were productive on both sides of the ball. Isaac Smith's another one. How much is that going to evaluations, like for Kelly Jones, who most of his film was at quarterback, but you get to see his ball skills? Same thing with Justin Brown, but in the defensive secondary, the way he played. How much is that going to evaluation, in your opinion?
I just think it's recruiting, I mean, I imagine these guys, their high school football coaches want to win, right? They play the best players on both sides of the ball. And so when you got really good football players, athletes like a Kelly Jones, like you mentioned, or Justin, right? They're going to be the best players on their team typically, and they're going to find ways to put those guys in a position to affect the game. Kelly at quarterback, but he's a DB for us. Obviously, Ty Jones at running back for Bay Springs, lead him to a state title. There might be a chance he's running some blitzes here. So good football players are good football players, and obviously that jumps off the screen in the evaluation process. I personally love to see DBs who play wide receiver because it shows they have some ball skills. I love to see offensive guys who play some defense because they got a little mean streak to them, which you want running throughout every phase of your game.
Even before this past.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but obviously most of these guys are dual sport athletes too, right? Which is incredibly important. If you ever get a chance, was fortunate enough to get out last week to go watch Kelly Jones play basketball. You ever get a chance to go watch Clarksdale versus Coahoma County? I suggest you take that opportunity.
Sort of along those lines, even before taking overall charge, how involved have you been, or what input have you had in the past 3 years recruiting offensive players, as far as coaches' opinions? What do you think of this guy? How would he play against you? How would you evaluate them?
I would think if you asked everyone else, they'd probably say I gave my opinion way too freely. Certainly with out of line at times, being just a defensive coordinator. But yeah, when you're in staff meetings, obviously that's the culture and the environment that Coach Leach said, right? We want everyone's opinion to be heard so we can make the best decision possible. Obviously, offensive guys give us opinions on defensive recruits because they see things differently. They have different areas, so they know who the best players in our area, in their area, and yeah, it's always a team effort, the recruiting and evaluation process.
Yeah. I know you guys had commitments from a lot of guys, even entering today, but what was the reaction like when you guys, heard the confirmation that Isaac Smith would be coming here? And I guess what did you see from him throughout the recruiting process that got you excited?
Yeah, Isaac and his family are first class. I distinctly remember his high school team was here for our summer 7-on-7 tournament, and the performance he put on that day on both sides of the ball. I don't know if his team got to the championship. They might got to the semifinals, but I don't know if one guy made such a huge difference for his team on that particular day. But yeah, he's a tremendous football player. I think we got the perfect position in our defense for him, and there was quite a few cowbells ringing in the football building when that paperwork came through.
You got a kind of unique to get a signee from Australia, and this is a guy that played Australian rules football, so he's probably pretty prepared for the physicalness of the SEC. What's it like to get a punter that's 6'3", about 210, and isn't scared to go down and make a tackle or two.
Yeah, that's kind of become what Australia's been known for in the football world, right? I mean, they develop these punters they look like linebackers, and yet they can run and boom it 60 yards with good hang time. They can also do the rugby punt, right, which comes from the Australian rules football and rugby leagues there. And so I think it should hopefully give us a competitive advantage schematically. You know, Coach Mealy this year obviously shown the ability to roll out punt and that rugby style, but then also kind of your traditional launch point. And that makes it harder on block teams to dial up specific pressures or overload pressures, because you always have the threat of a mobile punter. No different than threats of mobile quarterback and what you can do on defense. And so it's always nice to have one of those guys.